So after reading VW Vortex and other forums about the VR6 NA power, one thing that was often said was these manifolds, although they are the best manifolds and they produce great flow, they're not as good as they could be. And if you smooth them out and open up the ports a bit and smooth the exit out, you should see a gain in power. Well, as you can see, where the carbon deposit is around the gasket, we are hitting kind of a lip that we can easily get rid of. I've done the head. The head has already been ported on the exhaust side, so we now need to match this, or at least get this a lot smoother in the holes where you can see the carbon deposit, where it's hitting the wall, so to speak. Smooth all that out as much as we can, and the other side for the downpipe on both sides of the manifold, because there is two, and we'll see how we get on. But yeah, so I'm going to get the carbide bits out on this and just open this out. There is quite a lot of material, so I'm not too worried about going through. In fact, there's a ton of material, so I could probably go quite far, but I won't. I'll just go up to where the black line is. That's why I've not cleaned them up. So yeah, happy days, let's get on it. So now that I've done this side with the carbide burrs, I'm going to wait now until I get the port and polishing kit set, just to smooth that out a little bit more. So that's fine, and that's to the size of the gasket. That's only gasket matched, which is fine, because that actually is where the exhaust is coming out. I've looked on the gasket, it looks fine. So what I'm going to do now is move to this side and match this to the gasket, and as you can see, there's a fair old chunk of metal that we can remove there, which will help the flow. So there we go, that's all been polished out now. I mean, I can't get down to the back down there, but this is nice and smooth. It's a lot larger than it was, it's a lot bigger than the gasket. Same with these are a lot smoother than they were, so hopefully that'll allow better airflow into the exhaust. But obviously I can't get down the back, which is a shame. But other than that, that's that one done. On to the next one. There we go, all done. So I've got new gaskets coming for them. I thought I'd best just put new gaskets on both sides. I'm going to try and clean this face up a bit more, but it's flat-ish. I'll do the same here, but should help with a bit more flow. That's all that's needed. So now that the manifold side is done, I want to look at the downpipe side. So a lot of resources talk about just cleaning the ends up where they're internally welded to the flange. Now, as you can see here, let me just zoom you in. Right here, there's an internal weld bead that's really protruding, and well, you can see a repair down there that's protruding as well, and that will really destroy the flow of the exhaust gases. Now, I could just, and I think I will just for now, get the die grinder on this, take it all out, smooth it all out as much as I can to the gasket. So all I'm doing here is just seeing how much I can take out, and as you can see, the gasket it's huge compared to the actual bore of the exhaust. So I'm going to measure how wide that gasket is, because when I get this remade, I want that to match that gasket diameter, because then I'm not reducing down to this size, and I've got a bit more flow all the way through down to the 2.5 inch exhaust that I've got on there now. So I am just going to mark this out, because like I say, I am going to run this exhaust now until I get the new one made, but at least I've got everything, all the dimensions, everything ready, and this one should see a small amount of performance increase due to doing the bits and pieces we have done, especially to the manifolds and then to these bits as well. Well, that went better than I thought it would, to be honest. Yeah, managed to smooth all that out. I think I've still got a fair bit of metal there to hold it all together. I'm definitely not feeling the crack of the kind of manifold side. As you can see, look, that's what it was like, and that's what it is like now. There we go. Long, tedious fucking work. Jesus, that was an effort, but I'm hoping it's worth it. So not only have I got the manifold and the downpipe to hopefully increase some kind of horsepower, I've also got this. This is a 2.9 modified inlet, but I am going to port these out to the same size as the gasket because the head has already been done and the lower intake has already been done as well. So I just want to match all the way through to make sure it is getting the best possible flow it can. So I thought I'd just show you the new and the old manifolds. As you can see, I never ported this. It was literally just thrown on because it was an OBD2 inlet. But as you can see on this one, all this is, you know, it's just a filler. It's a filler metal, and it's doing absolutely cock all on both sides here. So the lad who I bought the new one off, in his wisdom, and I agree with him here on getting better flow into the VR6, he took all of that out, ground them all flat down to the bottom, had it machined, and then he's added the plate on top to allow better flow in, and also he's added this corner piece here which would live there, and allow a better flow pattern to go that way. I'm glad he's done this because as soon as the air comes in the throttle body, it's got a wider pattern to start going around these. So I'm hoping, and I agree with his thinking, that this will give better flow than that ever would. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to port match this to the gasket. As you can see, there is a ton of aluminium left on these, and that's fine, but everything else is gasket matched on the inlets. The lower half is gasket matched to the engine. The engine has been port and polished to a degree, so we're just going to make that flow that little bit better into the next set. So now that the exhaust has been wrapped, I've put it all back on the car. It's all bolted up, all new gaskets all the way around, so that's all done. So this is all back together. So I've just bunged off the old air intake temperature sensor there. As you can see, I've got some copper washers just to make it, I'm hoping to make it airtight. And then I've relocated the new 180 one here right after the intake, so it should hopefully be nice and cold, enough airflow to get that nice and cold to give it a better reading. So the car is all back ready together, the engine bay, ready for tomorrow at Cadwell. We've got a full day at Cadwell and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to seeing how the ported manifolds, supported downpipe, smooth downpipe, the larger flow 2.9 intake, everything. I'm really excited to see how everything works together, and if hopefully we notice a bit more gain. I'm not expecting massive gains by any stretch of the imagination, but some gains is better than nothing, and how cheap and easy it was, why not? That's about it, guys. Thank you very much for sticking around. As always, please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one, which will be Cadwell.